My big teachers when I was growing up were people like Abby Hoffman and Allen Ginsberg. These were family friends. And one thing that I really learned from them when I was a kid was how important it is to use culture and to use connection through community to change people's heads so that they can connect with each other and make change. Douglas Engelbart, who is really the great genius that every American school kid ought to know about, who invented the personal computer and the way that you use it back in the early 50s. His initial vision behind all of these tools was, he didn't do it to get rich. He didn't do it because, he wanted to be the biggest businessman on the planet. He did it to really help make the world a better place. And the way that he phrased it, how can I help the world collectively solve complex problems? He started thinking, well, I don't need a computer to answer questions I can't answer. I need a computer to help me collaborate with other people, and we can collectively answer questions. And he got a vision in the early 1950s of somebody sitting at a desk with a screen and a keyboard and a wire going out of the back of that screen, connected to the same kind of device somewhere else, and two people manipulating symbols on these screens, and they're collaborating. And they're using computers to communicate and to share information. And essentially, this was the beginning of the whole idea of distributed online networks. One of the most amazing things about the internet is that it's a distributed network. It's not a centralized hub where all the information is held at the center and you sort of stuck at the end dealing with the center, trying to find out what's going on. Instead, it's more like a mesh. And what that allows for is a way of information flowing to the edges so that power doesn't concentrate in the center. The old media paradigm, essentially the broadcast model, was, every day something happens in the world, it's news, it gets gathered at the office of the newspaper or of the television station, and it gets broadcast out, because a handful of people basically decide what's important and want to tell the rest of the world what's important. This new model, this distributed media model, enables anybody in the mesh network basically to see something that's important that's going on and get it out to everybody else in the network. What it also allows for, if you design digital identity technology, is for everybody in the network who shares certain interests to find each other, connect, and then self-organize. What we're really missing right now is the opportunity for us to very easily find one another and the information and ideas and entertainment that would be most valuable to us, so that we can self-organize. Back in the 60s, that kind of connection happened in happenings, in parties, in the park, right? But for various reasons now, people are much more kind of isolated in their own kind of universe, and they're using the internet to sort of to connect with each other. The problem is that the way that they're connecting with each other through places like Facebook and MySpace is, within these, what they call a walled garden, within these silos that are controlled by corporate interests. And the only way that you can express yourself within Facebook or MySpace is using personas that are created through these tools that are designed in order to make other people money. The whole thing is designed around a business culture and a business structure, and not really around, who you are and how you can best express yourself. And then one of the most exciting things that I think is going on is a project I'm doing with Daniel Pinchbeck. It's called Reality Sandwich. It's part of a larger network that's called Evolver, which we're just starting to roll out as an online social network. And what we want to do is embody the values and the visions of the transformational community around the planet that you see, from Burning Man to serious yoga and bodywork practitioners, to radical environmentalists, to people in festival culture who really understand like our connection to the planet, and enable these people to connect with each other to catalyze what is really a growing global movement. So that's going to start with people basically being able to own their own information on our site. But we also want you to take your profile from Evolver with you wherever you go on the internet. When you give people the opportunity to really express their heart, and to and when folks start to really say what it is that is the truest deep down, and other people can see that and share it, that's when revolution happens.
Integrate Earth, recognize potential. Crisis breeds opportunity. Are you waiting to be saved, or will you make yourself free? Awaken to essentials, time, second mental. Integrate Earth, recognize potential. Crisis breeds opportunity. Are you waiting to be saved, or will you make yourself free?